Oompa. What we made our thing last night. I'm like, oh, there we go. Oompa la, ooh la 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 la. There we go. Our Camp Monologa theme song. I was like, I know we have an attention getter. What is it? Oompa ba, ooh la la. There we go. All right. Welcome. It is time for the meat in our sandwich. So we have had such a great weekend already, and I'm so excited to bring up our keynote speaker. Who's excited to hear from our keynote speaker? So no camp is complete without somebody to come in and inspire us all. I am so honored that we have such a great talent among us as actors, as directors, producers, all of that good stuff. It's always about inspiration, and I think Vincent Rodriguez III is very inspiring. You may know him from his starring role in CW's Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Anybody watch that show? Make some noise. I love that show, one of my favorites. So super excited for him, and he's been in so much more voice acting, on stage, on screen, on film. So he's got a long list of credits, and we are so honored to have him here to give our keynote today. And be sure to stick around for tomorrow as well. So give it up for Vincent Rodriguez III.
Hi, y'all. Can y'all hear me all right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't hear me at all, so I have no idea. Like, what? Alma, turn on your battery. Anyone know that reference? No. Okay. I feel like everyone today, let's take up your hymnals. Page 26. That's the vibe that was giving me. I'm like, I'm just gonna move it over here. How's it going, Camp Monologa? Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. Thanks, Corinne, for having me. Thanks, Amanda, for your support. And nice to meet you, Camille. So yes, my name is Vincent Rodriguez III, and I am a TV, film, voiceover, stage actor, but I'm also a passionate teacher, educator, student. I actually continue to take class even while I pursue my career. So some days are self-tape days, some days are sleep-in days, some days I'm cooking, some days I'm teaching, sometimes I'm taking class, or everything, which has been the last few days for me, including today. Wow, I really am nervous to be here. I feel it. I feel the nerves, and I feel the love too. I think it's because I'm from here, guys. So I grew up in Daly City, and I've never seen anyone like respond to being from Daly City like that. But I'm for it. I think we're now like the crew. We're the beginning of the crew. Like what? So yeah, I'm from Daly City, California. I'm a Bay Area kid. I'm Filipino. I grew up in a very traditional Filipino, Camille, household. And I guess I start off by sharing that because you guys know some of my credits, and I'll share a few more of them so you have more context. But I wanted to go further back because what I'm about to take you through is kind of like this arc of my career and of my life so far. And one of the things I enjoy highlighting when I share these topics and these things. Hello. Am I good, Camille? The wind is just freaking me out. All right. Oh, goodness gracious. Like, am I doing anything wrong?
No. Wind is windy.
It's just giving you some backup dramatics.
Got it. It's very drama. But I don't know if there's there's no drop. It's just
Get that picture, Kathy.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, yeah. Keep going.
I couldn't possibly. I also do improv. No, but when I go up and I do these things, and I speak and I talk, and I'm doing a solo concert, solo cabaret show as well. I'm in this phase of my career where I've realized how rigid I've been, and how many of us as artists can feel a little too stuck. There's being grounded, yeah, you know how to ground, meditation, mindfulness work, breath work, but stuck is different. And I think the stuck I'm talking about is the stuck that you feel inside that no one else can touch, but you're in control of, yet you still feel stuck. And so part of the stories I'm going to share with you about my life and my journey are hopefully going to put into context how, in order to achieve something great within yourself, the path towards it is your own path. And there's nothing that really gets in your way unless you let it. You know, you get to choose. That weekend was great. I don't know, got a parking ticket. You know, the guy, that guy like flipped me off and cut me off in the thing, and then I found out my friend's cat died. But I had a great weekend, and I'm grateful. Like, sometimes life has this way of just kind of bringing you down, and then you yourself have to find ways to find and discover the takeaways, because that's your choice. It's your ability within your art to pull something that feels so powerful to you, like a message or a melody or an energy, a vibe. And then you as the artist get to embody it and express it and not feel stuck in what you're making, but feel free to discover what else it could be. We can't discover what else it could be if we're too busy being, nope. No, you can't do it when you're stuck. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, because I've had versions of that. So I grew up in Daly City, born Filipino, we were born Catholic. I was not supposed to be an actor. My dad wanted me to follow in his footsteps and do his business and be a mortgage guy and real estate and get a degree and traditional life, be a nurse. That didn't happen. I have 3 older sisters, and they are not only beautiful, but they're all very unique and different and artistic. They sing, they play piano, they're artists, they're managers, they're creators, they're organizers, you know, and I feel like I got a bit of a combo platter when it came to all those qualities. So when I was a kid, one of the first things I noticed was I would rock myself to sleep. They put me in a rocker, and I would just rock, and then I'd hum, and then I'd pass out. Then I got older, and I started to walk. I started to dance, and I would copy Michael Jackson videos. I would hear commercials, and I'd repeat them to myself. I'd memorize them, and that's when I started to discover I had pitch memory, so I could sing a song to you in the original key. I could tell you, like, oh, the horns come in on that word, because I can hear it in my head. I didn't know this at the time. I discovered this over my journey as an artist, especially in the last, 7 years of being in LA. So when I was a kid, I was developing, and I was unknowingly following the energy, just following my inclinations, even though there were always impediments being put in front of me. Some of them were my family. Some of them were my friends. Some of it was, I was going to say me, but no, I think I was too young to really get in my way quite yet. I learned that much later. I highlighted that for good reasons, because I want to go back to that later. So when I was growing up, I was lucky enough to become this kind of artist who would play piano and who played clarinet and was in marching band when he got to high school, and who was a martial arts kid. It's a very typical thing for a young Asian kid to say. I was that cliche, except I was also the kid who watched Gene Kelly movies. Yeah. Some people don't know who that is. That's a little troubling. It's like black and white was a thing. It's a vibe. It's worth watching. So I was watching Gene Kelly movies as a kid. I remember reciting commercials and songs and wanting to play music, and my sister would teach me piano because she was playing piano. My other sister was becoming a fashion designer, but she had a beautiful singing voice, and she was in the plays at the local high school, which I ended up going to. And I would sing soprano as a kid, until obviously a lot of things changed. But all that was a really huge amalgamation of so many things that seemed random and just seemed like I'm just the person who's trying to be happy and follow the energy, follow my passions. Didn't know that what I was actually doing was something that would pave a way towards something that I never knew I could accomplish. I was betting on myself in all these really small ways, unknowingly so. And so, as a kid, all that enthusiasm started to get filtered through what my parents wanted, what my friends would say, me starting to care about what other people thought. But I was very lucky. Even though I did start late in the game, being an actor, I started my freshman year of high school. I started dancing not till my senior year of high school, like actual dance classes. But I started martial arts when I was in second grade. I got my first black belt when I was in 8th grade. Got my second black belt when I was a junior in high school. And why does that matter right now? Because martial arts, I didn't like fighting anybody. I loved the art. I loved the forms. I would watch Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles because I wanted to see the shape of and the intention. And I wanted to watch Bruce Lee movies and watch the snap and the what would come out of him because he was expressing the art form. He wasn't just trying to look cool or fight or do it right. He was channeling something that's not really visible, right? And that, I think as artists, we can all admit that when we share our art, that is a very active piece to what we do. Whether we give you choreography or a song or a monologue or anything, it's not just you that's a part of it. It's something else. It's your relationship to that something else. And then you spend a lot of your time as an artist developing that sensitivity and that relationship so that when it calls to you, you answer it. Or one of my favorite quotes from the founder of my acting school, he teaches an intensive called the Breakthrough Intensive. And I stole this this piece of a quote from Emerson about imagination. He talks about the imagination being this magical thing that we all have, and it's so unique to every single one of you. And it's really, truly what makes you different from anyone else. No matter how many actors or actresses look like you, sing like you, have your body type, have your, vibe. No, there's no one else like you. No one else. No one else has your instinct, your history, your relationship to your past, which you bring into every show you do. But when we are learning art, we're not always learning that. We're learning stand on 2, high B flat, make sure you cry on that word, cross stage right. Exit. It becomes a little rote. And as someone who is a recovering perfectionist, woo, it's a club and we're in it together. As someone who's a recovering perfectionist, I oftentimes find myself reverting back to this mindset that used to protect me. And now it's my cage. It's my cage. And part of the reason why I am here is because I'm from the Bay Area and I am passionate about the cause that Camp Monologos represents. Because it's about bringing community and art together and building these relationships and these sensitivities to our art form and letting ourselves be inspired by each other. Without fear of judgment, without a feeling of, I have to be this way. They must think this of me. I stand like this. Hi. It becomes a little rote, right? Because we're trying to fit into a mold that we think will help us get what we want, get the job. Broadway will hire me, that director will hire me, that casting office will call me back. So much of that mindset is based on things you actually can't control and that are none of your business. They're none of your business. Preach. That's what Amanda was giving me back there. It's like you're in my head, Amanda. Because even now my life is very different from where I started. I painted you a bit of the picture at the beginning. Now I'll give you the last 7 years. 7 years ago, I moved from New York City after being in New York for 11 years, pursuing a career on Broadway, which never happened. So I was doing every regional show, first national tours of Broadway shows, working with Broadway creatives, directors, producers, actors, dancers, lighting technicians, wardrobe supervisors, you name it. I was working with them, but I never got the Broadway credit. And it was starting to really wane on me, and I was getting impatient. But when I'd look around, I would see all these things that were leading me towards something that was getting me closer to Broadway, but Broadway wasn't happening yet. And then I did this musical at the Public Theater called Here Lies Love. They did a production the year prior that sold out, and it was one of those shows that only had a capacity of 250 people. So if you didn't get a ticket, you couldn't see that thing. And it was sold out. And every celebrity in New York, every person, every actor from LA or all over the world were coming to see the show. And they remounted it, and I got to be in it. And all of a sudden, things started to occur. I auditioned for a musical called Holla If You Hear Me, Tupac Shakur musical, which opened and closed in a month. That's what I was auditioning for right before I booked Here Lies Love. And 2 days after I booked Here Lies Love, my agent called me, called the box office, called the Public Theater. Didn't text me, didn't even, yeah, very odd. My stage manager's like, Post-it note, you have a call from your agent? And I'm like, what's happening? I'm like, hello, what's going on? I'm in rehearsal. He's like, well, are you sitting down? I'm like, I don't have time to sit down. You need to tell me what's going on. Like, you don't do this. And he says, well, Holla If You Hear Me just called. And they said their pool of talent has changed. So you are now a front runner. This would be your Broadway debut. And he's been working with me for a few years. And I've had dry spells for months and months and months at a time. He was talking me off the ledge, as it were. We need to come up with another phrase for that. But he was just calming me down because I was always getting to that point of self-doubt, which we've all gotten to. And we somehow get out of it, right? So I'm there in the middle of the set of Here Lies Love at the Public. Alex Timbers, Tony Award-winning, director is right there. And David Byrne from Talking Heads is like over there hanging out. And I'm just like, there's no way I can leave this magical place. And I already had one music rehearsal and one day in the set, and I'm like, there's something here I can't see, but I can feel, and there's nothing that's going to take me away from it. So I said, please tell them I'm sorry, but no. I know I sang the rap. I know I accompanied myself on guitar. I know I did the monologue that had the N-word in it. I know I was to do a track that was the non-black track in the principles of the show, but they also wanted that person to also understudy the whole black ensemble. Let's imagine that for a second. That doesn't look right. So, but Broadway calls, you answer, and I answered, and I said, no. And he said, congratulations. And I said, why are you congratulating me? He said, because, Vinnie, because of you, they now have to re-release the breakdown because you said no. And I had this new feeling in me, and I didn't know what it was. It was very Elphaba. Something has changed. Something is not the same. I tried to turn green. It was weird. No, but that was one of those moments that kind of dinged. You know how you get a ping on your phone? That's what happened. I got a ping, and I didn't know what it was. I do the run. I ended up playing the DJ for the first month, so I'm in the show now, but I'm the first cover for the two leads. Conrad Ricamora from How to Get Away with Murder and King and I on Broadway, Little Shop of Horrors on Broadway. I understudy him. I go on for him. Broadway's Jose Lana. I understudy him as well. And I understudy the whole male ensemble. I'm doing this show, and there's this audition that comes out. It's a musical TV show, and they're looking for some Asian guy to play this part. And the role was named Josh Chang. It was for some musical TV show called My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And I found out later on, every Asian in New York had auditioned for the show. Every Asian in LA had auditioned for this show, for this role. And I remember auditioning at Chelsea's office, and all I did was do the sides. I had one adjustment, did it again, and then I sang my song. And the song I sang was Thug Mansion by Tupac Shakur, which I learned for that job that I said no to. But imagine for a second, days before I did that audition. I didn't know how to play guitar and rap at the same time. Yeah, it's Sunday night. My husband's asleep. I'm like, I'll be there in a second. 2 hours later, I have a strum pattern. I have lyrics in front of me. They're double spaced. It's like a monologue from voice and speech class. I used iambic pentameter, and I used my training as a musician, up bow, down bow for violinists out there. And I created a map to sing this song and accompany myself, and I figured it out. So by the time I got to the audition, I could do it. But then when I didn't accept the job, I went, well, why do I have this thing? Like, what's the point? And then fast forward to that moment in Telsey's office, and I'm doing this song. And after I do it, Conrad, the casting director, he's still casting. He stops the recorder and he looks at me like, I didn't know you could do that. And I look at him like, yeah. Subtext, I'm that talented, you just didn't know it. But like I said, I had this upbringing, and I had this 11-year stint of chasing after a dream that I never quite got to. But I got all these consolation prizes that were at the highest level and introduced me to so many people. And I wouldn't change it for the world. If you paid me, I would not change my past. Absolutely not. So now, I get a call back. I come back wearing the same thing. It's with the director. I get called back again. I do a chemistry read with Rachel Bloom. And I'm backstage for Here Lies Love. And I'm about to go on for the funeral scene. And I get up and I see there's a missed call from the LA number. And I listen to it. And it's Rachel Bloom saying, hey, it's me, Rachel. You auditioned for the show I'm in. Just wanted to talk to you really quick and say thank you and just call me back. So I'm thinking, my first shot at being like in a big TV show. Never auditioned for a series regular, by the way. I didn't even know what a series regular was. I didn't know an eye line. I didn't know what a mark was. I didn't know what back to one meant. I didn't know what second team. I didn't know any of those things. None of it. I was a New York guy, theater guy, and a martial arts guy. So I call back and it's like, hey Rachel, what's up? It's me, Vinnie. I'm in the middle of a show right now and I'm about to go on, but I wanted to call you back. She says, okay, hold on. She disappears for like 3 seconds. She comes back. Vin, are you there? Yes, I am. Aline, are you there? And she's like, yes. Vin, can you hear me? And I'm like, yeah, Aline, I can hear you. And they're like, thanks so much for answering our call. I know you don't have a whole lot of time, but we wanted to call you. And in my head, I'm already reciting, we wanted to call you to say thank you so much for your audition. We really appreciate you, but it's not going to go your way. That's what I was prepared for. I was not prepared for, congratulations, you're Josh Chang and you're about to be a TV star. Excuse me? I ugly cried. I clutched my pearls. I really did, though. I had that moment. I'm like, am I in the Miss America pageant? Where did this come from? Like, who am I? What's happening? I really didn't know. It was such an out-of-body experience. So I got the job, and now I'm like crying, and she's like, well, let's get back in touch with you later. And now I'm like about to go on for a funeral, and I'm crying for the wrong reason. So I ended up having to leave Here Lies Love, and I did Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame at Paper Mill Playhouse after I'd done the workshop a year prior. So this sounds a little disjointed, right? Because that's what it was. It was all this random archaic life things like Tetris, but like 4-dimensional and like at all angles. None of it made sense. It was like a labyrinth for me. But things started to just kind of line up. So I'm leaving Here Lies Love. I booked the role of Josh Chan. They need to film the pilot in LA. I get word that I'm one of 2 ensemble members from the Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame workshop who are hired for the live action stage musical that we are going to build at La Jolla Playhouse, then bring to Paper Mill Playhouse. So I'm rehearsing at La Jolla Playhouse, and I have to leave after the first few days of rehearsal because I'm going to LA to film starring in a TV show for CBS. And then I come back, and they're like, you have all this choreography to learn. I'm like, okay, because I'm the dance captain. I'm also the magic consultant, because I pitched that during the workshop. So I'm magic consultant, featured dancer, tumbler. I lift every principle in the show. I made this track, by the way. I made it. I know how to make a track. I created my track, so I lifted people. I did every special skill I had in this show. And it went on. It was fine. It was great. We did the show. It was great. It was just very weird because, like, in the ensemble of the show, ha ha ha. But like, also, I started in a TV show. This is weird. I'm like, what's happening? Who am I? I don't know. I really don't know. So now, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend gets dropped. CBS drops it. Too adult, blah blah blah. And then now Rachel Bloom and Eileen Brush McKenna are selling it and shopping it to people. And this one of the stories goes, there was a day where they did 7 pitches in a day. Do we know what a pitch is by chance? So for those of you who don't know, it's essentially when you pitch your idea, you present it to someone who has the money to fund it. And you bring all this enthusiasm and energy to it because you want them to see how energized you are about it. So imagine getting yourself to that state 7 times in a day and hearing 7 no's in a day. And that's what Eileen Brush McKenna and Rachel Bloom went through. Now fast forward a little further, now I'm in Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame at La Jolla Playhouse. Still no word. Somewhere in there the show wraps, and now I'm just back in New York. I'm like, what's going on? And then I get a phone call, and it's Rachel Bloom saying, hey, we just got picked up by the CW. You start in 2 months. This is a very fast turnaround. It's about to go live on deadline. It'll be live in about 2 to 3 hours. Do what you need to do because you're coming to LA and we're filming our show and you're going to be starring in it. And I took, I don't know, the afternoon to just walk up New York City and just stare at 8th Avenue like, what's happening to my reality now? And it was very, very fast. So I did go to LA. I filmed the first season. I stayed at my friend Michael Arden's house, who played Quasimodo in Hunchback. And that was right before he got nominated and won the Tony Award for Spring Awakening. So what? What's happening? None of this makes sense to me, because it just doesn't make sense. Because I thought things had to make sense. They don't. So I moved to LA. I'm doing Crazy Ex-Girlfriend for 4 years. I'm a series regular. I'm a series regular now. I'm doing other TV shows. I did my first Hallmark Christmas movie last year, Christmas on Cherry Lane. I'm filming a sequel to it in 2 months. I most recently am the voice of Raiden in a new Mortal Kombat video game, MK1. And I have been in various voiceover projects, whether it's animated feature films or series on Netflix. I've done English overdubs. Like, I started to just build a career. So I have TV, film, voiceover credits in LA for the last 7 years. But that, compared to my upbringing and then the 11 years I spent in New York, just felt so disjointed and so random. And so I just wanted to share a bit of my journey, because I know all of us have moments in our lives where we doubt ourselves and we think we're not doing the right thing. And it's hard, but you gotta remember one of those little like life lessons that you probably see in a meme on your Instagram pop up every once in a while. But it's that you are exactly where you need to be right now. And whatever you're thinking about that you wish you could have done differently, keep in mind, you and everyone else who you think wronged you or did something that messed you up, they were just doing the best they could with the tools that they had at that time. You were just doing the best you could with the tools that you had at that time. Right now, you're doing the best that you can with the tools that you have at this time. Your best needs to be good enough, because we cannot waste time and life being in shame. You can't be in 2 places at once. I've tried. I'm not. Are you Doctor Strange? Do you have mystical powers? Can you be in 2 planes of reality at once? No, you can't. You can't. So you can either be in gratitude and feel like, wow, the trees are green, there's lights out, it's overcast, but it's so bright, like I feel the sun on my face. Or you can be like, oh, God, I'm so tired. Is that chicken? Hungry, wearing way too many layers. It's like, oh, gosh. call my mom back. I gotta. None of everything I just experienced for you right in that moment, that's like a lot of us feel and experience that, right? But as artists, we have so many other tools than other people. And we kind of have a responsibility. You're the artists. You get on this stage and you tell the stories. You sing the songs. You dance the dances. You say the words. You go into the booth and you don't have a script. I drive to voiceover auditions. I don't have a script. But after the 4 hours I'm in that booth, they're like, Vinnie, that was amazing. Oh my gosh, wow. Oh my gosh, we'll book with you again. And then I'm back in my car and thinking to myself, what did I just do? What did they pay for? I didn't prepare anything. My perfectionistic mindset is wondering, what is reality right now? And then I have to realize, using my awareness, oh, things aren't what I thought they were. And I need to unlearn that and learn how to be here. I have to modify my relationship to my art and to myself, how I use my time, what I think, what I focus on, because what you focus on is what will expand. So if you're worried about work and money, you're just going to be worried. Worry, worry, worry. And every emotion and everything that attaches itself to worry. But if you're like, okay, I'm worried about that, cool. But then you take a break from worrying and you're like, I'm going to take a dance class and live my life, or get a voice lesson in, sing some of my favorite songs. Ooh, I have an audition. This is a fun part I've always wanted to audition for. See how I can't be worried? I'm too busy doing this thing. You can't be in two places at once. You can only be in one place at once. It sounds very basic, but we're artists, we're actors. We actually know this, and we've experienced it so many different times. You can have a certain day before you get to the theater. But once you sign in a half hour, I'm willing to bet you'll start to feel an energy outside the stage door, outside that door. Because people are having a cigarette, some cast members are there. Once you walk through that door at your half-hour call or your fight call 15 minutes earlier than that, dressers are walking by, hey, how's it going? You're now a part of something so much bigger than you. So your world that was just like, my stuff, my life, oh no, has now been like, ooh, squirrel. So many squirrels. Oh, lights. Oh, fight call, yeah. Shh. Let's do that again. It's like, you're safe? Cool, that's good. And like, now we're back in play. Now you're back in a sandbox. And the sandbox is where we thrive. Your work is like being in a sandbox. You want to make sure when you get in that sandbox, you're there to play. You don't know who's going to be there. I don't know who's going to be directing me in that voiceover booth. I don't know when I go to the set of Home Economics with Topher Grace, who the director is going to be. Will the lines change? There's so many things out of our control. But yet, many times in my life, things have gone so well. And I used to ask myself, why? And it's because of me. I'm the change. You're the change. You're the change. You're the catalyst. You walk into a space and everything changes around you because that's what you bring with you. So when I go to a voiceover booth, I bring a belief that I can create something out of nothing. But there isn't nothing. There's a script, there's an engineer, and there's 3 people I've never met before. One's a dramaturg. I know what those are because I did theater. One wrote the game. I have worked with writers before. The other one is the executive producer of the video game company. So he has a say too. So these are these are chefs who are in the kitchen where I'm in front of the stove. I'm the head chef. And the bowl is in front of me. I'm making soup. I'm making jambalaya. And they're just throwing ingredients in. And I got to cook it. And any ingredient they throw at me, my job is to say yes. And then this. I don't know. I'll try it that way. Or like, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Let me do it. Let me try it. They're recording. 4 hours later, they have everything they need. And they're so grateful that I know how to do my job. But what is my job? What is the job of the actor? What is acting? Just think about that for like 1 second. In your head, when I say what is acting, try to fill in the blanks. Acting is, and it should be 1 sentence. Can you make it that concise? It can be, but I'll be honest with you, it wasn't for a long time. Because you know what I was distracted by? I was distracted by red carpets, have nicer clothes than me, oh, they don't need to have a survival job, oh, I didn't get that audition again, oh, that casting office doesn't like me. It's not my job to pay attention to those things. It's taking me away from what is my job as the actor. My job is to become different people. That's it. I can do that. I do it with my voice, I can do it with my body. The characters I play can dance, they can sing, I can make them do whatever I want. And they have to, because when you get a script, those are actions, those are emotions. That's written in a time period. I don't know that time period. Well, then you better research it. Bring yourself to a level of understanding of what the facts are. Once you understand the facts, you did your research, now develop that thing. Develop that idea. Add your idea to it. What can you bring to it? That's you, though. That's your imagination. And many of us don't do that step. We talk about this at my acting school a lot. It's not that you can't. It's that who's teaching us to do that? Who's teaching you to really research the thing so that you feel good about what you know and you feel like you have enough data to be like, all right, what do I want to add to this? I know it's all this stuff, but what can I bring to this? You know, is it emotional? Is it, this character struggles in life and I struggle through my life, so I understand that. So what are the emotions that are attached to that? Some of us have certain emotions we're really good at experiencing as us. But you're not playing you when you act. You could. That's a way of doing it. But that's not what they're asking you to do. They're asking you to be this character. And what they're also not asking you to do, but you're kind of doing it, is once you become a character, you stop becoming a character. Cut. Is that lighting right? Did I hit the mark? Okay, cool. That's not my character. I'm just being the actor now. Okay, ready to go again. Rolling. And now I'm... Didn't even hear action yet. Doesn't matter. Well, what's my job? Be that character. For the first time, as if it's never happened before. Change the moment before. What's their outlook on life? What's their personality like? What do they want? What are they looking at? What's in their environment? What's in their pockets? What's in their way? Are they the hero or are they the anti-hero? Are they supporting the hero? What page does this scene happen on in the play? Wait, no, it's not in a play. It's in a half-hour TV show. Great. What page in the half-hour? No, it's in a movie. What page in the movie script is it on? Is it in the beginning where we're establishing something? Is it in the middle where there's a turn? Or is it at the end where we're wrapping it up and we're bringing it on home to whatever the message is? So all these structures are actually given to you. But what I found has been interesting as an artist who's passionate about talking to other artists about these things is that there's so many things that we've kind of done that get in our way. And that's not what the people who work with us really want. They actually want you to bring you to it. They want your ideas. The ones who aren't as good don't know how to lead artists with ideas. Some of the best directors hire the right actors. And all the director has to do is make sure everyone knows we're telling the same story. That's it. Hey, you're doing great. The story is about redemption, though. So we need to, redemption, not revenge, or this moment is about this. Wait, this happens on page 60, not page 20. In page 20, these things were happening, but we're in page 60 now. So we're not there anymore. Where are we now? Asking the question, not saying we have to be here. Because when you do that, everyone else is like, well, we're locked now. You just said we're here. Where's the jazz? Gotta leave room for jazz. Or Jello, depending on how you want that metaphor to go. There's always room for Jello, but there needs to be room for jazz. Because you don't know what's gonna happen. For those of us who do TV and film, they're gonna give you a wild take. They're gonna say, hey, we got what's on the page. This is a funny scene. You often go off script. You seem like you know who this character is and how they think and how they talk and what motivates them. We'll let you go. Rolling. And do it. And cut. that was really funny. Do you have a few others? You want to just try a series? Let's just do a series. So just reset yourself. Give us 3, and we'll keep rolling. You finish that. You don't know what they're going to keep. But on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, they did use a lot of our improvisations, and they weren't written. They came from the actor who knew their job, who had an idea, and they knew their job was to bring the idea to life, to take a concept. He's the color blue, or he's like there was an actress who said, yeah, my character's like a galvanized marshmallow. Helen Bonham Carter, I think she said that when she was playing the Queen. But galvanized marshmallow, it's a concept. You guys laugh because you have an idea of that, right? If I gave you each that idea, and you were to say to me, like, I'm playing this character in a play, I said, great, you're all playing different characters, but I want you to interpret galvanized marshmallow. I don't know what galvanized means. Look it up. Not just the first definition, every definition. And then from that data, those facts go, okay, I know what that word means. What's my gleam of light? Emerson quote. What is the idea that just juts out? Whatever comes out, the first thing that comes out, you grab it. And then you commit to it and you go. And that's every take. That's rehearsal. That's in the booth. You grab the gleam of light and you commit to it. Maybe you tripped up on a word. That's fine. We reset ourselves all the time. This above all to thine own self be... Oh, crap. Sorry. This above all to thine own self id. Mother, dang it. It's a bad example because everyone knows that line. But the judgment, the criticism part, notice how that has no play. You can't be worried about what you're going to do and be the character. The character's not thinking that at all. What's the subtext of the scene? You can ask that question, but that character it's going to change. It's going to change. And I think as actors, we often need to put ourselves in positions where we are empowered to be of service to the people we're working with. Because it's not just the director or the creative team, it's actually your fellow actors, the people you're playing in the sandbox with. Because if you can't meet them there, then what are you going to make? If you work with someone who's a perfectionist and they're in a cage, well, any idea you throw at them, they're not going to throw it back. Nope, I do it like this. No, I cry on this word. No, I look down at that phrase. Well, last time I checked, real people don't do that. And they just exist. And they have their own problems. They have their own goals, their hopes, their dreams, right? Those are the characters. But then because we're actors, and we're artists, and we want to keep each other safe, we have these things in place where we can rehearse a moment to the point where when we perform it, it seems like it's never happened before. It looks dangerous, but it's so safe. So safe. I love stage combat. I love violence on stage and on screen. But only because I know it's fake. I love watching action sequences. I do. I think it's great. It's thrilling to watch young people learn stage combat. And they're all thinking things are cool, and they're thinking like, I'm gonna throw a punch and that's gonna be cool. It's like, did you know that the person who's aggressing is not the one in control of the story? It's the one taking the hit. If I get slapped in the face and it's just like, ow, you don't believe that, versus, yeah. It's your job. It's your job. Cut. Or like, great job, Vinnie. You good? Yeah, I think can we do an elbow pad can we talk to wardrobe and have an elbow pad added for this scene? Is my character wearing a jacket? Let's look at the board. Yeah, my character's wearing, see how like now I'm a part of this artistic process that helps create my character. Because that's your job. If you're doing a TV show, film, doesn't matter. You're the janitor of that character. You got all their keys. So someone says, hey, your character's sadder there when they enter. that's not your cue to go, this happens, I'm guilty of this too. Not say guilty like it's wrong, but, well, why are they sad? You're asking me? We hired you to play the character. I'm the director. I don't play the character, you do. That's why we hired you. Be sadder. Oh, you didn't tell me why I'm sad. Who is your character? How did they grow up? What do they want? What's their expectation? Why? What? Why might they be sad? Oh, well, she might be just feeling really overly sensitive. I mean, in the previous scene, they talked about going out, and he often gets shy and he's awkward around people. Okay, so he feels left out. Do the scene, feel left out. Start off feeling left out. And then see what happens. Because that's why we can say cut. That's why we can go, great, do that again. Can we just move the camera closer? Blah, 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 blah. Great, do that again. We're like watching it on a monitor. Because we're watching the story. And you as the actor get to relive something as if it's never happened before. But you also are the artist. So you get to play with what it could be. And you might not know. That's why the magical phrase of, let me try it, is so powerful. But that's a process. That's a process. And I think getting yourself to have confidence in the process of growing as an artist is really challenging and tumultuous. But it's not impossible. It takes work. If we're lucky, the work isn't excruciating. Because we've all heard this. If you want to be an actor for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're not here because you want to be rich. You're here because you have to be here. You have to do it. You can't not do it. I get that. You're not a slave to it, but it's something that brings you joy. And you have the choice of how you want to use it. If you're an actor and you want to do voice acting, do it. Don't complain when you get the auditions. I'm so busy, there's too many auditions. You wanted to be an actor. This is the life of being an actor. Playing different people. Here's a script. Here's an audition. Here's an audition. Your job is to be these people. Present your ideas. And be like, peace. Move on to the next one. And in that fictitious relationship, the cast member goes, aren't you going to be needy and wonder if we want to see more? And that's when you go, no, I'm actually, I have more things to make. Let me know if you need me. That's it. I'm busy. I gotta go to the chiropractor. I gotta go to the gym. I gotta have a meeting with my friend because we're gonna talk about some business stuff. I have to go sit down and go over this monologue I have to do for this thing. I have to go research this thing. I have to watch this movie because I got an audition for this director and I need to see the movie he directed because I need to understand how this person works. You have all those tools. The work that you guys do isn't just in the script. There's an email you get with every audition that says the director, the executive producers, the writer, the people who are making the thing. You can use that data to create your audition. I had to do that when I auditioned for the Barbie movie because I was for Ken A, Simu Liu's character, opposite Ryan Gosling. So I'm nervous, no script, dummy sides, I think the movie description was a sentence. This live action is directed by this director and is based on the Mattel toy Barbie. That's all I got for a log line. I'm like, what? Breakdown. Ken A is a rival to regular Ken, played by Ryan Gosling. They have a contentious, competitive relationship. That's it! That's all I got! How am I supposed to make something out of that? I need more information. Nope, that's the old me. The new me is trained in a new way. So I went to the first page, the email, who's directing it, who's writing it, who's in it. So I know Ryan's in it, I know Margot's in it, but I didn't research them. I researched Greta. And what did I look up? What's that project Greta did with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson?
Marriage Story.
The marriage.
Noah Baumbach wrote it.
Yes, but it was the Marriage Story. Okay, so I went on YouTube and I found the Marriage Story. And I saw this really cool Vanity Fair video of her talking about one particular scene. And she's circling things and she's talking about how she directs. Research, download, download, download. I'm hearing her voice. I'm hearing how she communicates. I'm seeing her taste. Okay, she likes stories that thematically have a lot of humanity, and she's really focused on the message. She's trying to say something. Now I look at an interview with Adam Driver talking about the process of working with Scarlett and the process of working with Greta. Again, at downloading. He's talking about, oh, she likes to work like this. I noticed in rehearsals we found this, and it was just such a great process. And I'm like, cool, filing that away. Now, Scarlett. So after that, I went back to my work and I went, okay, with this new information, this is just information. This is just facts. Now I'm in the developmental phase. I think of them as columns. Research, development, and then we have something new over here. So develop the idea, I created a character. The breakdown, I had a new breakdown. I wrote a new breakdown for my character. I still have it in my phone. Every audition I do, I create a character card. I create a new character based off of the breakdown they give me. So if I'm auditioning for a role and their name is James, in their 30s, LGBTQ, they work at a hospital, I'm like, James Castillo, 33-year-old Filipino, such and such, who works at a hospital, and then I add in these adjectives that are not just what's in the breakdown, but based on my interpretation of the script, what the message of the scene is, the function of that character within it, like thinking like a writer, because I want to be in service to them. And also, these two scenes, these are just two scenes in an episode. If this is for a reoccurring or maybe for sequels in a movie, you're building a fully three-dimensional person. So what is their personality? Do I need to know like what they ate as a kid, their favorite food as a kid was? Not necessarily, but that might come up. But you take whatever you can get. Just like when you do improv. Does anyone do improv by chance? Cool. Has anyone done like UCB improv or like the kind of improv where you're against the wall and you have teams and stuff? Because that kind of improv is insane. I just want to go into this a second. Because there's nothing, right? They come out, they don't have anything planned. There's a wall, they're all against the wall. And they're like, hi everyone, we're insert improv group name here. We're gonna do an improv. And so all we're gonna do is ask for one word from the audience, and then we're going to improvise an entire story for the next hour about it. And you're like, there's no way you can do that. Oh, watch them. And then it's like, marshmallow. And they all step up, marshmallow, camp. Oh, high school, sleeping bags, crushes. Awkward shirts against skins. Oh my, now they're building categories and ideas. They're creating a palette. And eventually they get back to marshmallows, and they say it at the exact same time. And then they all leave the stage, and someone stays forward, has a chair, and starts to initiate an idea. And then sometimes they pull another person into the idea, and they don't know what it's going to be. You're being pulled into something, and you don't know what's happening. So I'm being pulled into something, and I don't know who I am yet. So I look to the person who initiated to see if I'll find out who I am, where I am, and what I'm doing. You establish a base reality, and then we discover something that's funny later. But that's the form of improv. It's not just be funny. No. Establish the reality. Where are you? Who are you? Every story has that, right? Every TV show, every play, every musical, everything has that moment. The first 30 pages of any movie script, or the first 5 to 10 pages of a TV show, are establishing something. That is going to help you understand where you are in the story and how to go about playing the character that you're playing. Are they the hero? Are they a supporting character? Are they an impediment to the character? Are they a friend? These are all the questions that we ask. And through those questions, through those curiosities, we're nowhere near the land of worrying. And am I good enough? Self-doubt, shame spiraling. I have undiagnosed ADHD, so I've been reading all the books. I got good time blindness, I got imposter syndrome, success amnesia. Oh yeah, I got the good ones. Shane's spiraling. Woo, I'm spiraling. I wish it were that joyous. I say that now, but this morning I was just crying to my therapist. It's funny because it's true. But you can't be here and also be in a creative space to believe in something. And so, in my career, I had this amazing journey, and it didn't always work out the way I wanted, and I didn't always get the support I needed, or the love I needed, or the applause from my family, or my dad, or whoever. But I made sure that I was in charge of whatever I was taking away from a situation. And I kept choosing to bet. I just kept choosing to bet on myself. I'm gonna bet on myself. I think I'm right for this part. I'm submitting it. I'm gonna do that self-tape. Here it is. I think I'm a pretty good dancer. I'm gonna spend the $300 and do that workshop on a Saturday with those 3 choreographers. I'm in debt, but I'm gonna do it because I think I'm gonna get better. So every single one of you, every time you take a class or you go to something like this, you're actually telling yourself that you believe in yourself. It's the act. You have engaged in the act. You believe in yourself. That's why you're here. And that's why I'm here. Because I believe in you. I know you're great. Any actor who gets in front of me, whether they're 7 years old or 70 years old, you give me time with that actor, I'm gonna hold their hand. I'm gonna bring out their ideas. And they're gonna do them. They're gonna discover things. And they're gonna freak out, and they do, because they do things that they weren't planning. And I'm like, yeah, funny that. Because sometimes we get lost in thinking it just has to be perfect, or it has to be what the teacher wants. And pleasing people is not really how we're gonna do our jobs. That's not the agreement, not when we're doing scene work. The agreement is, hey, this is a cool sandbox, what's your name? You have these toys, ready to play? Let's do it. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't either. We're at the callback. We've never worked together. Let's see what happens when we do the scene together. Now, those are chemistry reads now, right? So the theme of what I'm saying is that no matter what your past, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what school you go to. It doesn't matter what school you go to. What matters is what you do with the education that you have and where you see yourself going and what you chose to take away back there while you were getting to this point. Because that's the thing that you can control. If you can learn how to let go of the things you can't control, you're going to have a much easier time dancing through life, skimming the surface. Musicals have all the lessons in them. Dancing through life, let it go, into the unknown, for now, except for death and paying taxes. Yep. Everything in life is only for now. Life may be scary, but it's only temporary. But we don't think about that when we're upset, or when we're feeling, I don't want to say the T word, activated by a brother, sister, friend, producer, representative, whoever. Because I've been definitely having some tough times emotionally in the last year. And I'm smiling because I only had a tough time this year because I actually stepped toward the thing that I was afraid of. And I am scared. And that's what bravery is. It's doing it anyway. Because what you want, the discovery, the new thing, it's out there. It's not here where it's safe and comfy. Every take, every time you bet on yourself, every time you sing a song, every time you do a reading, anytime you create, you are literally walking up to that edge. You don't even see the ground, but you're about to jump. You're not going to jump like that. No. You're going to whoosh and you're gonna leap off, and you're gonna fly, and it's gonna be thrilling, and everyone's gonna watch you like, whoa, he's probably gonna die. This is awesome. But then they don't. They fly. Or something else happens. They hit a tree and they land on a cliff. And now the story keeps continuing. But that act of like believing in yourself and betting on yourself and leaping into the unknown, not knowing how it's gonna come out, having an idea, hey, do it again, but like you're doing it like you're a conservative doctor. I need you to be the Mad Hatter with a PhD. Now, you might be the actor who goes, huh? Just tell me what to do, director. Or you're the kind of actor who goes, oh, I have an idea. And you're like, back to one, let's roll. Because that's that moment. Has anyone had that light bulb moment? Can you think of that moment that you had a light bulb about something? Maybe it was an idea for a song or a lyric, or maybe an as if, a moment for a song, like anything. When you had an idea that you didn't have before, you discovered it, right? You discovered it. It wasn't there before, it was a discovery. Well, I've seen Indiana Jones movies. When you discover something, where was your head at before you discovered it? Now I'm asking. If you discovered something, what were you probably thinking about before you discovered something? There are no wrong answers.
You were actually in the moment.
You were in the moment. Cool. But what were you doing?
Wondering?
Wondering, yes. You can be a little bit more specific. You were wondering, you were searching. How many of you are searching for something when you were doing your work? Are you searching for the answer? Or are you searching for the questions that continue to lead to more questions, that continue to develop these ideas? It's not about having the answers. You need to be willing to discover what it could be, what you could bring to it. That's what your imagination's for. That's what separates us from the animals. I'll get it in the next take. But that's what separates us, because we can choose. And that's what's kind of fun. That's why in TV and film, we just edit it. The story that they filmed you doing, by the way, doesn't belong to you anymore. So there's a whole post-production of editing where they're going to cut it up and they're going to control the narrative. Your job was to be that character and feel their feelings. And we capture it on a camera. And then an editor is in charge of weaving that together into the story that we see and that we enjoy. But notice how if you really are that free when you make things and you're not in charge of the post-production of it, you don't get to watch your playback, you don't get to see if your lines are clean on the dance, or if you hit your mark, or if your shoulder was up or it was down, whatever it was, you don't get to see that. You're not in charge of that. Your job was to be the character and leap. That was it. Go to your trailer. Change clothes. Go to lunch. Change clothes again. Do it again. Go home. Next day, repeat. No worry, what did I do? What did they think? Did they like me? None of that. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of energy. Life is filled with so many more things that are beautiful. I think one of the reasons why we became actors is because we kind of got lost in the thing that we enjoyed, didn't we? We kind of got lost in it. It became like a safe space. And that's kind of what Crazy Ex-Girlfriend was about. Rebecca Bunch would just imagine musical numbers in her life. That wasn't real, but that's how she processed life. That's how she got through those really tough, I don't know, sorry. Now I'm just thinking of the horrible things Rebecca Bunch did. And I'm just like, wow, that's a list. I also randomly found a photo of me holding a piece of paper up on set, and it's a list of every single thing Rebecca Bunch ever did that was illegal about me. Like, Rebecca Bunch did, like, she put a tracking device on my parents' car. She hijacked my Thanksgiving. She had sex with my best friend's dad. Like, just so many things. But like, you don't use those things to define you. And that character, Rebecca Bunch, she represents all of us. Because we're all struggling and trying to swallow these really ugly truths in life that are tough. But when you put a song in it, some lights, music, a little choreography, now it's different. Now it's more digestible, right? Well, you can give yourself that. I went through that myself. I realized the last few years of my life were me being Rebecca Bunch. I've been medicating my life with musical theater. But a few years ago, I came to terms with something because I was searching. And what I found was, I'm not dealing with my life in a fully authentic, present way. That's probably not helping my art form, because when you play a character, when you're living that moment, that's the present moment. You're only living in the present moment. So if you don't know how to will yourself to be here, right now, if you're thinking about what you're going to eat tonight, or the fact you're hungry, or you're cold, or what did your parents think, or is your spouse, you have to check my phone, you're not here. You're somewhere else. And you don't have anything else right now but this moment. Anything else is not guaranteed to you. Past already happened. It's over. Don't harp on it. There's nothing to do about it except for learning from it, if you choose to do that. Or you can let it rule your life. But we're actors. Our job is to be present in these characters. And then when we work in the sandbox, I look at you because I was here when I did the sandbox. But when we're in the sandbox, you can't have me thinking of anything but being here. Have you guys ever been with a scene partner who wasn't present? You're all like, your faces are doing a thing. All your faces are looking like, yeah, but now your faces are like scowling. Yeah, of course it is. Because that's not a very good feeling. You're there, you're committed to something. You believe in what you're doing. This other person is behaving in a way where they don't. Or they don't realize they are. So what is that? What does that mean? That means, I'm gonna take a step back for a second. That means we need to take a step back, and we need to create space and have compassion for ourselves. For ourselves. Have empathy for yourself. For yourself. Have patience for yourself. Monitor your self-talk. Be mindful of your tone. Be mindful of being mindful. What? Hat on a hat, Vinnie, what? Why? Why do this? If I can't put on my own mask, how the hell am I supposed to put on a mask on you? How am I supposed to give you compassion and empathy if I can't even do it for me? Right? If I can't be kind to me, how can I be kind to you? And when I go on a set now, I'm the walking sun. I take responsibility for the energy I bring into a room and the energy I leave behind. And that is not me saying I'm important. This is not about self-importance. This is about you understanding you matter, you have a power, you have an ability, you have a spirit, you have an imagination, you have so much to offer, you have a life, you have art to offer. You have all monologues, songs, stories about how you got here. And they're all fascinating and beautiful. And they got you here. And that's special. It's sacred. But oftentimes we get in our way of those things, and we don't honor those things. We judge them, we critique them. And then we judge and critique other people. And now we're not happy. Now we're wondering why we're not happy. But we're artists. Why aren't we happy? These are all the good questions to ask. Now, it could lead you to like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable, Vinnie. You ask me all these questions. I can't handle feeling that way. Okay. Just remember that you're auditioning to play characters who feel a certain way. And if you are unwilling to feel any certain emotion, it's going to get in the way of your work. Which is why it's even more important that you recognize your job is to be a different person. And part of your job being a different person cut. Hey, can I get a smoothie? Do we have any? I'll take a frappuccino, thanks. Hey girl, rolling. Back to one. smoothie. On, off. What is it? Tag in, tag out.
Tap.
Tap,
Tap.
tap, tap in, tap out. You're on your mark. I hope you're your character. They're about to roll. The bell has rung. On the bell, we're about to, the thing's about to happen. It's about to happen. But in your head, it's not about to happen. You're just in that moment that character's in, coming from where they came from, now living in this moment. And when action happens, their life will continue. And we're just going to capture it. That's it. I know it sounds simple. I'm not trying to dumb it down. What I am trying to do is get you to see your art in a different way so that you know how empowered you actually are to be an even better version of yourself. And how that's going to take patience, and it's going to take belief that you can do it, that it's a worthy cause to put yourself behind, and that if you make a mistake, if you're nervous, that's okay. We all make mistakes, we're all nervous. You know what? You'll figure it out. You know how I know? You're here right now. You figured it out. You got here. Whatever happened last week messed with you. You figured it out, you're here. Whatever happened last year, you figured it out, you got here. You're stronger than you think you are. Practice being brave. Risk failure at the possibility of success. Bet on yourself, even when you fail. Feel your feelings. Feel them. Get to know them. Feel uncomfortable. And know, I need to work on getting comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. Get to know what it feels like to be in that state. And then realize how not bad it is. And how, well, that's all that was? Oh, well, now let's play this character and do that. But when I did it in the character's way, it was richer and bigger. Why? When I did it with myself, it was just this. That's because you were you. This character has all this other life. It's a different time period, different circumstance. And your body and your mind knew that. Because you're the interpreter, you're the artist, you're the vessel, right? So all of you have these things in you. I just want you guys to know that you have someone out there who believes in you and who thinks doing things like this, where we can wrangle our time, our busy lives, to bet on ourselves and show that we actually believe in what we can do, and that we believe that what we do is healing for ourselves and other people, and telling stories is a gift. It's something that's not everyone can do. But you answered the calling, and now you're here. Thank you very much, guys. I think it's time to have dinner.